That says it all. In programming, sometimes you get so psyched on what you're doing that you lose track of the big picture, and that's what happened with this piece here at the beginning of our spreadsheet that we were calling the Meso West control panel. We were trying to do too much with these cell references, and it just simply isn't working. So when you run up against something like that, you have to figure out a different way to do things, and that's what we're going to do in the Series 200. Looking over here, this is our weather tab or our wind tab for the Jackson Summit, and I've messed around with it. I've made it more readable. We've got a whole series of decision-making things here that were still here before. Notable exception or notable addition on this was this little piece, M7 equals yes. The CAN import needs to take into account what's happening in this cell, and so I did that. It wasn't doing that before. We were just getting lucky. Anyhow, so we have that thing sitting there. Anything that's hand entered is going to have this green background. You'll notice the green background's gone from here. These are no longer hand entries. Everything else is pretty much the same, just cleaned up a little bit, make it hopefully a little bit easier to look at. And then down here, you'll notice everything that was on the front page of the Meso West control panel is now located here with a few notable extras. The column thing was always the same. This is the cell that searches for the date. We talked about that in previous episodes. Now we have what's called a enter row number, and this code for the row. The enter row number, in fact, should have the same green border around it as is on here, and it will at some point. And the reason for that is you can hand enter what row you want this to appear on. You can see I've been testing it. If I go over to the mini base, I can have it put the information it needs to transfer on any row anywhere in the spreadsheet or on any date. So that makes it possible to use the same subroutine for exporting on any one of a number of sheets. So we could start going through and setting up any of these other sheets with the same basic layout that you see here, and then I can just change what row number it's on. So that's kind of a handy thing. So that's the biggest addition to this whole project. Series 200, we're going to talk about the macro that basically does that export. So it's going to be focused mostly on creating this thing right here, and we'll do that from a different junk spreadsheet so you can practice coding. And then this thing's already complete, so you actually don't have to code it, you just have to know how to tweak it. And once we have this thing sorted out, it's just a matter of telling it, the computer, to go to all of the different tabs, and you can export as many different wind stations as you want, and that'll be pretty easy to automate. So hopefully this is helpful, and we'll see you in the next video.